Hi guys, and welcome back to Brexit Britain, a country that went into a darkened room with a bottle of whiskey and a shotgun, and the rest is history. And also welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all of your messages, and a special thank you to everybody who signed up to my channel. Yeah, I feel so blessed with so much people that signed up, so thank you so much for that. I'll go through all the messages, I'll answer as many as I can, and I will like all the messages for definite. So look, we've got Oxted, I believe, right? They've been asked, they've been told by the local council that they need to boil up their water. Right? Now I'm wondering to myself, yeah, could this have anything to do with the pollution that the Tories are allowing companies to put into the rivers? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It all seems very, very coincidental, right? But imagine that, right? All of this, right, comes down to having a clown in charge of the country. All of this. Right, now these people have got to go and boil up their water in Oxted, right, or drink, or they've got to go and spend a whole heap of money on bottled water, right, because the water that's coming out of their tap is unsafe, right, in Great Britain in 2020. Imagine that. Right? That can't be. That's got to be. There's got to be all sorts of wrong right there. And do you know what I mean? It's like, that's just. I don't know. That's just. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? That's this. Right. I would say is typical. Right. Of having a clown in charge of the country. Right. Where everything. Right. In the country starts to fall to pieces. Right. Have you ever known shit to be this bad as it is? Right? And this, right, this is Brexit Britain. This is the world that you Brexiteers wanted, right? Because this is the world we told you was going to get, and now you've got this world. And not only that, they've gone and they've taken, the £20 they've taken off of the lowest earners. Right, while they can't, while these Tory MPs and these MPs, I'm quite sure it's all the Tory MPs that went to Peter Bottomley, yeah, because he's a Tory himself. But these MPs going to him and say, you know what, we can't live on 82 grand, but we're prepared to take £20 off the lowest earners. That's the country that we're in. Do you know what I mean? Right? Boris Johnson's speech. Bring back beaver. First of all, right, the man's quoting Kermit the Frog in the Frog in the UN. I must have said flog because that's what should happen to Boris Johnson. The man should be taken out of 10 Downing Street and flogged right outside. Right? Yeah. So after quoting Kermit the Frog, right, at the UN. Right. And then in his speech, right, when these people, right, they're dancing the night away, right, and Therese Coffey, right, singing songs that that just says, you know what, I'm just taking the piss out of all of you because you're stupid, right? So she believes that she can sing, I'm having the time of my life. Just very, very, just. But anyway, so Boris Johnson, bring back beaver, right? When your life's in the toilet, the country is in the fucking toilet, and this man's talking about fucking beavers up in there, right? With the nice glossy pelt. Right? Right? Seriously, man. Do you know what I mean? Just like, you know what, yeah? You got them taking the £20 off the lowest earners. A new tax, right? The gas prices going sky high, and all of that is their fault, right? Remember, right? It's government who sold off all the gas companies to all all the private industries. Right, so the private industries then said, you know what, we don't need all this storage, so they sold off the fucking storage. Right, they sold off the storage, right, and now, right, our gas bills, what was it, 2 G's, straight up. Do you know what I mean? Right, straight out a gas bill. I mean, a crazy motherfucker named Johnson. Seriously. Do you know what I mean? And you benefit Tories, yeah, that voted for this, yeah, and you working class Tories and your TiVos and your, do you know what I mean? All of you, I mean, this has been brought on by you, and you can't be feeling good about this shit, right? When is Brexit? When are you going to say, you know what, Brexit's really hurting us now? When are you going to admit this? Say, you know what? No, this is too much, because this is it's laughable. It's not like I'm not immune from this shit. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna have to pay the higher fuel prices too. Do you know what I mean? That's just standard procedure. But I can say, well, you know what? You had your chance, right, to put a decent leader in charge of the country, but you allowed the right-wing media to poison your minds, your racist motherfucking minds, right? You allowed them to do that, right? Yeah. So but I said Boris Johnson up there talking about beavers, right? Your life's in the toilet, but we're not here to speak about that. We're here to speak about this skid mark that is Nigel Farage. Right? Not only the Nigel Farage hunting around like 7 or 8 petrol stations or 11 petrol stations or whatever it was, right, looking for petrol and getting rear-ended in the process. I don't even have to laugh about that, because all of this is his fault, right? So I see a video. This one was a couple of weeks ago, mind, right? But Nigel was talking about the deal with the USA, yeah, and how obviously when Obama said we're at the back of the queue, he said, yes, well, we are at the back of the queue now. I think reality's kicking in, right? These guys are starting to realise, that Britain, right, isn't as important as they thought it was. Right, this is the problem, right? Now, the Americans are doing a deal, on vaccines with the EU, right? And it's like these guys, it's like Nigel expecting Britain, right, to be in front of the EU. You say, you have to wonder, if Nigel, when he was in that aeroplane crash, if he bumped his head when he was in that aeroplane crash, because something has been disturbed in that man's life for a long time. That man's been disturbed for the longest of time because he doesn't think right. And then he's saying stuff, that clearly is not true, right? Like the day after, I think that he was saying like must be a couple of days or whatever after a couple of months after the Brexit vote. Right, he said he must have been in the White House, and there was plenty of people in there saying, listen, we want to get this trade deal, signed up, and they're saying under Trump we could have got the trade deal, but no, you couldn't. You couldn't get a trade deal signed with America, in 4 years. That would never happen. You can't do a trade deal with the Americans in a few months. They wouldn't do a trade deal in a few months anyway. Donald Trump might have said, you know what, we're going to do a big trade deal, a massive trade deal. But it's not in his gift. It's never been in his gift to give anybody a trade deal. Anybody. Do you know what I mean? It's not in his gift. It's got to go through both houses, first of all. Same as over here. Do you know what I mean? It's not in Boris Johnson's gift to just give anybody, he's got to put it through. He's got to put it through Parliament before he can just give trade deals out. Right? So that's how the system works. But these guys, they will just lie to you people. They just say, oh, no. We can get a trade deal in 2 weeks. No, you fucking can't. Right, but they'll continue to say these things, and because even now, you still have people, you still have Brexiters who will say to you, well, we didn't want to be run by unelected bureaucrats. Even though everybody in the world must know that that's not true. Everybody must know, that who the fuck do you think MEPs are? Do you know what I mean? Unelected bureaucrats. It's just ridiculous. Right, it's I don't know, unless they probably they could be talking about like the civil service that work in the EU, just like we've got civil servants over here, right? But they answer to the politicians. They can't make they can't start making decisions on trade or anything like that. They have to answer everything has to be run through a politician. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know where even the unelected bureaucrats thing, it's just a load of nonsense. But a lot of these Brexiters, they're still using that type of language. Do you know what I mean? And you think to yourself, seriously? Do you know what I mean? Have you not do you not actually listen to when and take in any information? Do you know what I mean? Right. So you I said so you got Nigel Farage, yeah. Saying stuff like that, saying stuff, that Trump was ready to give us a trade deal. I think, well, and the Brexiteers, they just lap all that shit up. Do you know what I mean? They really do lap it up. But you see, Nigel, right, is realizing, yeah, the error of his ways, because you can see it in his face. Do you know what I mean? It's a shame that no one really can get to interview any of these. All of these people. Most of them have disappeared. If you notice, most of them have disappeared. Most of the chief Brexiters, most of them have disappeared because they've all seen the absolute calamity. What's going on? You couldn't get Andrew Bridgen and Mark Francois. Do you know what I mean? And Digby Puddin Jones. You couldn't get these people off the telly before. You couldn't get them off the radio. There was everywhere. Do you know what I mean? It was absolutely everywhere. The only person who's showing her face is Kate Hoey. I see her showing her face talking about something last night. Even Question Time was a bit of a car crash because they had a load of Brexiters in there, and there's a bit of a car crash in there for them last night on Question Time. And then you got Nigel, right, realizing the error of his ways, right? Interviewing French ministers. Why do the French hate us? Why? What have we done? Well, you know what, Nigel, right? You've been shouting at these people, yeah, for years and years and years, calling them all sorts of different names, right? Basically telling them, you know what, we're better than you. We don't want to be with you. We hate your institution, right? This is what you've been doing for all these years. Don't you think that they'll have some type of effect after a while, right? This guy has absolutely. Do you know what I mean? They have absolutely no empathy. They have no clue about anything. Do you know what I mean? All they thought to themselves, you know what, right? If Britain leaves the EU will fall to pieces. The EU's never going to fall to pieces. Right? It's never going to fall to pieces because one thing's for certain, right? All those smaller countries in the EU, yeah, they want to be wrapped around the Germans and the French. That's where they want to be. Right, because there's other than that, right? They would still be just small European countries that no one don't really go to, or no one don't know anything about, right? But coming into the EU, right, it's given all them smaller countries a worldwide status. That's what the EU has done for them. Do you know what I mean? So the EU, there's no way. Right, that Nigel Farage and these type of people are going to get their way because the EU's not going to break up. It's not going to happen. Right, but that is what these guys was hoping. That's what they pinned everything. They pinned everything on that, right, for the EU to fall apart. And that's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Right. So Nigel Farage, Nigel Farage still collecting his nice wage. Right, on GB News, right, and how how the fishermen doing? Every minute Nigel was with them. Every minute, the fishermen, yay! Remember, he was ready to fight with Bob Geldof on the River Thames, right? When Bob Geldof was truly standing up for the fishermen. The fisherman was with Nigel Farage. When's the last time that Nigel's seen the fishermen, his friends? He hasn't seen them. He'd be scared to go up in there with them. But Nigel couldn't go and see them. Right? You see? This is, and I mean, internationally, this country is just the biggest joke ever. right? There has never been a bigger joke than Great Britain, right? Anywhere around the world, right? For what we've done to this country, nowhere around the world. This is the biggest joke ever. Right? And that is down to you Brexiters. It's you people, yeah, who have done this to this country. Right? You have ruined Great Britain. Right? You've destroyed this country. Right? And I really hope, yeah, that you people, right, understand the bullshit what you've brought upon this country, the shit show that you turned this country into. Anyway, guys, this is By Any Means Necessary. I'm James C. John Ribbs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.